do Taki and Mitsuha, the main characters from Your Name, do they appear in Weathering with You? If they do, what's the link between the timelines of the two movies? And of course, it wouldn't be a Meepon video if I'm not asking myself, is there some real life locations I can visit? So let's go find out. Taki and Mitsuha, the main characters from Your Name, do they appear in the second movie, Weathering with You? And of course, the short answer to that question is yes, which is really exciting. So how do we know this? If you remember in Weathering with You, towards the middle of the movie, Hodaka and Hina, the main characters of Weathering with You, go about with their weathering girl business, and they visit an old woman that lives in a very traditional Japanese house as they reply to her request. And after a while, this young man shows up at the house, and if you can tell, he looks exactly like Taki. The resemblance is uncanny. So obviously that's the very first strong clue that we have that the two movies are somehow linked. But there's a few other clues as well. Later on in the movie, this old lady moves to another apartment, and we actually get a shot of the front door of the apartment with the label, with the name of the occupant. And the name of the occupant is Tachibana. If we assume that this old lady and this young man are related, you would know that Taki's full name in the first movie is Taki Tachibana. So that's a very strong second clue. And I mean, if you're still doubting, then of course, if you stayed long enough when you watch the movie to the credits, you see that the name for the character in the credits is Taki Tachibana. And you also see that the person who acts his voice is the same voice actor as in Your Name. So there's no doubt. Figuring out if Mitsuha appears in Weathering with You is a bit harder because she doesn't have as much screen time as Taki does, so it's kind of easy to miss her. But if you remember towards the end, when Hodaka wants to buy a present for Hina after they do their last Weathering girl gig, basically he goes to buy a ring for her. And this is the person that sells him the ring. And if you can see, she has the exact same necklace and the exact, you could barely see it, but at the back she has a red ribbon tying her hair back, which is the exact same style and ribbon that Mitsuha wears at the end of Your Name. And if you're still not convinced, you'll notice that she's also wearing a little badge with her name on it, which is hard to read what it says in the movie. But we were so excited about this that we went and picked up the light novel and we flicked through it, and we found on page 151 it does mention the name that's written on the badge, and it is Miyamisu. And in Your Name, Mitsuha's full name is Mitsuha Miyamisu. And of course, similarly then with Taki, if you wait and see the credits, you'll see her full name listed there as well, and you'll see that the voice actress that voices her in Weathering with You and Your Name is the same. So to answer the question, did Taki and Mitsuha really appear in the second movie, Weathering with You? The definite answer is yes. And that leads to the next mystery and question I'm sure everybody's been asking themselves. Did Hodaka meet Taki and Mitsuha before they met each other at the end of Your Name, or after? So to try and answer, we have to start from, of course, the beginning of Your Name. And this timeline starts with Your Name between 2013 and 2016. There is an element of time travel involved, so the story starts in 2013 for Mitsuha, and then 3 years later in 2016 for Taki. Now, if we look at the timeline of Weathering with You, Taki and Mitsuha have their cameos while the Weathering Girl business is ongoing, and the opening hours are during the summer of 2021. In December of 2021, it's the exciting moment where Taki and Mitsuha nearly manage to find each other and meet each other when they cross paths on the bridge under the rain. Of course, we know that they finally managed to meet each other on those world-famous stairs, and we know that this happens on the 4th of April 2022. So, to answer, Taki and Mitsuha already meet when Hodaka meets them? The answer is no. But the mystery doesn't end there. At the end of Weathering Review, there is also a time delay. We're skipping a lot of time. After Hodaka is sent back to his hometown, he then comes back to Tokyo. Mentioned before, he goes back to see this old lady, which we know is related to Taki. In the light novel, he mentions that Hodaka sees some wedding pictures around the apartment. So we can only assume that somewhere between 2022 and 2024, Taki and Mitsuha finally got married. So a bit of a side note, the store where Hodaka meets Mitsuya and tries to buy the ring for Hina is actually a real store here in Tokyo. And the ring is actually real as well. And you can buy that very same ring in that very same store right here in Tokyo. So I hope this was as exciting for you as it was for me. A lot more content coming up on the channel and also on the website, some more articles, some more real-life locations. So if you really like it, please subscribe, please go check the website, and I hope to see you in the next video.